and welcome to Potpourri. I'm your host, Brittany Miller. Joining us today is a guest who is sure to have you running to the gym, Fit Defenders creator, William Lecan. Hello, William.
Hey, Brittany.
Thank you for joining us here today.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so before we get into the Fit Defenders comic, you are a freelance graphic designer.
That's correct.
How did you get your start in graphic design?
Well, I always had an interest in art and drawing in elementary school. So as the years went by, I was inspired to become that. Do something that's graphic related. So I did some research and decided I want to become a graphic designer. So I was really inspired when I had a career day speaker come to our classroom in 10th grade to ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then at that moment, I made that decision that I was going to be a designer. And so I went to school, went to Drexel University in Philadelphia, majored in graphic design. And then the rest is history. Most recently, I was the creative media services manager for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution newspaper. I worked there for 16 years, and then as of 2013, I started freelancing.
You actually have very nice work. I was able to visit your website. If you want to tell our audience what site they can go to see some of your graphic designs.
Right, they can just Google William Lecan or go to williamlecan.com and they can see some of my work.
Since you mentioned the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, who else have you done graphic designing for?
Well, now that I freelance, I have the opportunity to work with anybody I want to, really. And one of the my favorites is my cousin, Lee Daniels.
Okay.
And I had the opportunity to build his website back in 2013. And ironically, around that time, I was also his personal trainer, which may be kind of a segue into where I got into fitness. But so I designed his website and I maintain it even as of today.
Right. Okay, so like you said, alongside graphic design, you are also very into fitness.
Correct.
So I'm actually into fitness myself.
Good.
I try to go to the gym at least once a month.
Once a month?
Get on the treadmill, work my arms a little bit.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to be a little bit more consistent than that.
Okay, so how are you in the gym a lot? Like you a gym rat or just for your fitness training?
Well, it was in 2005 that I decided that I wanted to compete in bodybuilding. And so I started training for bodybuilding competitions for local competitions here in Atlanta. And I actually enrolled in my very first one in 2006. And I did so well in the first one. I did another one that same year, and then the third one. And the third show I did, I got my professional card as a natural bodybuilder. So from that point on, I decided, okay, well, maybe I can do this a little bit longer. And also at the same time, I said, well, let me get my certification too.
Right.
And so I decided to take my test, and I got my certification as a certified fitness trainer with ISSA in 2012. So I've been a certified personal trainer, but I'm also a professional natural bodybuilder. I'm kind of retired now, because my last show was in 2008.
Wow. When you were young, did you think that like, I'll probably be a bodybuilder?
No, never. Well, I thought about it when I was in high school, but I was too skinny, and I said, no, maybe I can't do this. But it wasn't until 2005 when I was working out in the gym, and there was a national bodybuilding competition being held downtown, and they had a lot of the competitors at the gym, the Gold's Gym downtown on Peachtree Street. And so there was a coach there training a female bodybuilder, and he came over to me and said, oh, have you competed before? And I said, I was looking at the person he was training, and I was looking at myself, and I said, well, he thinks I can compete like his female bodybuilder. I said, maybe I could do that too. So that's where the spark started, and I actually picked up the baton and kept running with it, and that's what the rest is history.
Okay. So you are a graphic designer by day.
Yes.
A fitness authority by night.
Well, all day and night.
What made you combine the two of those things that you're clearly passionate about to create the Fit Defenders comic?
So in addition to becoming a certified fitness trainer, I thought about actually competing into shows. I decided that maybe I can do these shows myself too. So I decided to produce my very first bodybuilding competition in 2009. And it combined bodybuilding, but it was a little bit different. It combined the arts called visual art, physique model. It was a physique model competition. So the guys had to be bodybuilders, but they also had to look pretty good. And then they also had to have a good personality. So they got judged on all those things. things, and I had a component in there that involved with casting directors to see if they could be possibly used for commercials or TV. So I said, okay, I combine all these things, and then in 2013, I said, well, let me do something different. And that's when I decided to do Physique Games, which combined bodybuilding, but it had a comic book theme to it. Because I'm not a comic book fanatic, but I've had comic books growing up. And I watch a lot of hero movies, and that's big right now too, the superhero movies. So I decided to combine that with comic book, and so I came up with Physique Games. And so the winner of that competition had his hero that he had to create, for the show, introduced into a comic book that I wrote. And that comic book is called Escape from Physique Games, and people can read that for free. It's a short comic, and it's Escape from Physique Games is the name of the comic book, but the website is physiquegames.com. physiquegames.com.
Okay, so what was your favorite comic?
Growing up was all about Superman. Yeah. And it's all about DC Comics. So I wasn't really into Spider-Man, but I really got introduced to Spider-Man through watching Sesame Street, and I don't know, not Sesame Street, but Electric Company, because Spider-Man used to make an appearance on Electric Company. And he used to come on right after Sesame Street. So I saw that when I was growing up, when I was real little, back in the 70s. I'm a little older than you. Yeah. So I introduced to Spider-Man, of course, through the comics, watching it on Saturday mornings. So I was really big into Superman. So he was my favorite. But I decided when I did this comic book theme competition, I wanted to come up with my own heroes, but they were targeting health-related issues. So when I did Physique Games, each of the competitors had to come up with their own superhero and their own superpower based on a trait that they already possess. So if they were a bodybuilder, then their superhero power would be strength, or if they were really into cardio, it would be cardio. One of the competitors, she's a fitness trainer, and she wanted to become gym boss because she kind of ran the gym. Right. Okay. So then another competitor, he actually had diabetes, so he was Mr. A1C, and so they had some creative names, but they had to dress up like their superhero for the competition, and they had fun, and they also raised money for cancer awareness, for breast cancer as well as prostate cancer. So it was also a fundraising opportunity, but a fun way to get the message out. And then I decided, well, let me take this a little bit further, because prior to doing this competition, I had the idea of doing a graphic novel. I wanted to do a graphic novel, and so I said the way to introduce this hero that I created, which I'm wearing right now, his name is World Class of Physiques. That's the name of my company. I decided to come up with a graphic novel, but I wanted this Physique Games to be a story arc for the competition. So after the competition, I wrote I wrote a script that was based off of the fitness competitors. And that's what we came about with Fit Defenders. And Fit Defenders is an audio comic book. It's not an actual physical comic book. So what made you choose an audio book as opposed to the traditional written book? Right, so I did the Physique Games comic book, which was small, and it costs a lot of money to hire an artist. I'm a graphic designer, but I'm not really a good illustrator. I'm a fair illustrator, but not as good as some of the others. So I hired an illustrator. So it cost money to hire somebody to do that. So I started looking at the cost of doing a full-fledged comic book, and I didn't have the budget for that. So I decided, well, let me just go old school with this and do audio, because some people like audio books, books on tape. So I decided to go old school with it, but make it like a podcast. And that's more common. I didn't think it was old school. I actually thought it was very innovative to have it as an audio book, instead of the traditional. What age group are you targeting a specific age group with your comic? Right, so initially I wanted to reach young people, whether it was elementary school, high school age kids, but also have it have a subject matter that adults could understand as well. So, when The Matrix came out many, many years ago, everybody liked that movie. And even now when you watch Iron Man or some type of movie like that, the whole audience goes, the family goes. So I wanted this to be a family friendly book, audio book, so both the young and old. So there are 4 Fit Defenders. Correct. Tell us who they are. All right, so the main character is me. So that's World Class Physique. And one of the things I wanted the heroes to do is help promote these fit professionals and their businesses. So each of the characters take on their business name, so to speak. So again, I'm one of them, and my superhero power is the ability to control water, and I talk about hydration. The other hero, her name is Monique, and she's a professional bodybuilder, but she's also a professional power lifter and a world record holder. And so her superpower is her strength.
Okay.
And then I have two more. One of them is Mark Jenkins. He's located out of DC. He's a celebrity fitness trainer. He's trained everybody from LL Cool J to D'Angelo, who he's actually traveling with right now, and Mary J. Blige. He's been her trainer for over 10 years.
Okay.
And then the fourth Fit Defender, she's out in Arizona. Her name is Candace. And Candace, Mark's superhero power is cardio fitness, because he has his own jump rope, and he's really good at jump roping. So he actually introduces that into his hero power. And then the fourth person is Candace, and she's out in Arizona, and she's a mother, and her focus is nutrition and as well as getting sunlight, because we also need that vitamin D through sunlight and getting that energy. So those are the 4 Fit Defenders. So we're real people, and we're actually talking about fighting obesity through a fictional story based on facts.
So my favorite character is actually Fabulous.
Okay.
And mostly because she's nutrition and not gym.
Okay.
Not my thing. But so part 1 is online.
Yes.
When can we expect part 2?
Well, I'm working on part 2 now. I have part 2 and 3 in my head. I just now have to write it down. And then if I have part 1 do very well, it actually will be a comic book if I get funding for it. But part 2, I'm thinking probably at the beginning of the year. Okay. And now I was inspired to really do this quicker because I reached out to Michelle Obama's Partnership for a Healthy America with the Let's Move campaign. So I reached out to the Partnership for a Healthy America back in 2013 because they were introducing their water portion of their campaign about encouraging kids to drink more water more often. Okay. So I talked to them back in the fall. They were interested. They liked the concept, but I never really followed through because I was supposed to have it ready by the first quarter of 2014. So I kept dragging my feet, got it ready at the end of December of 2014, launched it 2015. So I was a little bit slow. I may reach back out to them, but if it goes well, I'll have part 2 ready by 2016.
Well, I hope it does, and I wish you the best.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mr.
Thank
William
you. Thank you for inviting me.
Please tell our audience one more time where they can go to hear the Fit Defenders comic.
So I want everybody to go to fitdefenders.com. That's with an S, fitdefenders.com, and they can also reach me on Twitter. They can just Google William Lee Can. I'm really one of the few William Lee Cans in this world, so you'll find me. Just Google Fit Defenders or William Lee Can, and you'll be able to catch me.
Well, you heard it here. Make sure you visit fitdefenders.com and check it out. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Potpourri.
And from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
Show up
And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible.
And then we're going to turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Finally won.
What's your reaction? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods.
Okay, what else?
Common.
This is their world.
Nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. And you get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours.
Dr. King, what's your next move?
In March from Selma to Montgomery.
Selma is loud for every man, woman, and child.
We will not wait any longer.
In front of a crowd.
Mine eyes have seen the glory. Glory, glory,
hallelujah. Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
I come from a big family. I'm the oldest of 6. To me, being the first person to go to college, it's like setting a standard, you know? My little brother is 8 years old now. I challenge his curiosity. I challenge him to dream. I have to paint a picture for him that he can look up to and live up to and possibly be better than. My name is Jaquez, and I am your dividend.
Welcome back. Here with me now is the founder and CEO of the People United Foundation, Lyndon Greene. How are you doing, Lyndon?
Absolutely wonderful. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for taking the time out to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so before we get into things, the People United Foundation, do you call it PUFF for short?
Yes, we do call it PUFF for short. It seems to be really catchy. A lot of people say, PUFF, oh, that's very nice and catchy, yes.
I just wanted to ask before I started throwing it around all willy-nilly.
That is fine.
Okay, so what was the inspiration behind the creation of the People United Foundation, and what do you all do?
Well, what inspired me to actually step out on faith, because it was a quantum, and I do call it a quantum leap of faith. Mm-hmm. At that particular time, of course, I was working as a government contractor, and I was helping another small business get going. We grew that organization from 0 to $30 million in 2 years.
Wow.
And so, here I am, in the second year of that, organization and growing it and everything. So I had a lot of financial benefits at stake. And I call it my inner voice. Some people call it God. But something spoke to me and said, there's something greater that I want you to do. It's bigger than just the money. I was going to work, and I was getting some satisfaction out of that, but that was something that was deeper. That was saying, hey, look, you are here to make a more positive impact on the human condition, and here's what I want you to do. And I said, Lord, are you sure about that? Because at the time, my wife was pregnant, my son is now 2, she was pregnant, and I was the main breadwinner. And so, I said, well, wait a minute, let me just, give me a little time here, let me try to get a few things together here and put some savings over here. And then finally he just said, no, now is the time. Mm-hmm. And so what I did was, I said, okay, I'll do it, And he said to me, the voice said, look, you remember when you had blood clots in your legs and in your lungs, and the doctor said, I asked the doctor, I said, well, how many clots do I have? He said, it's too many to count.
Oh.
And at that moment, I said, Lord, you know what? This is your legs, these are your lungs, it's your time, you just tell me what you want me to do. So I was reminded of that experience, which had happened, about a year or so prior to that. And so I said, well, you know what? I got to go, and of course we were right in the middle of big contract negotiations, everything, and it was a huge decision, but it was a transforming decision, because, I'm like, what's my purpose? And that's what I did. So I took that quantum leap of faith and I stepped out and I said, okay, this is your project. And he said, okay, I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do. You just follow my lead. And I said, okay. So that's why when people say, okay, are you the founder and CEO, and I told you, I said, well, I'm actually the co-founder, you know. So that gives me great security knowing that the master of the universe is actually leading this organization and guiding, so I cannot fail. So I don't get worried about, you know, whether things are moving too fast or too slow. We're going to do it in due time, step by step.
So the foundation works with underserved communities to help build them up, or what specifically?
Well, the mission of PUF, or People United Foundation, is to build sustainable communities of educated leaders and entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Okay.
What programs or courses do you all offer?
Well, we offer a myriad of courses to achieve that particular mission. One of the primary classes and courses that we offer is called DAP, PUF DAP, you know, which is our digital arts program. And what that program essentially does is it allows us to take control, take ownership of the images that are put out into our communities, you know, and that's huge. So what our goal and our mission is to stimulate and to help empower young people to tap into their inner creativity and to begin to create positive images, positive movies, positive short films, positive lyrics and everything to push back out into our communities, because what comes out of you, that can help build you up. If all that's coming out and all that you're seeing and the young people are seeing are the negative things, then that's what you're going to latch on to. I know you've heard the saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Absolutely.
Right? Well, I believe that a picture is worth 1 billion words. They're very, very powerful.
I bet that's an extremely popular program. It sounds like something that most people would be interested, especially with music and television being so popular in our community.
Yeah, it's a very, very popular theme there, because I mean, I'm not sure if you're aware or not, but a lot of the educational systems have kind of reduced the amount of arts and arts in their programs. So the arts actually speak to the creativity, you know, and we need to have young people to have an outlet. We need to help them to have an outlet so that they can creatively express themselves. But we want that expression to be in a positive way, you know, so that's huge. So the digital arts program, you know, like I said, whether it's spoken word, art therapy, or digital photography, digital videography, these are the types of things that they need to be a part of so that they can tap into that creativity and positively express themselves. And of course, we also have the PUF STEM program, and some people call it STEM or STEAM, but we actually took the art part out of STEAM, you know, call it ADAPT, to even focus more on that piece. But the STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and math, you know, all these are essential components that can help make you into a whole person, you know, so that you can be the best person that you can be, so that young people can begin to be law-abiding citizens and productive to make their impact, you know, on society in a positive way.
Why agriculture and technology specifically? Like, why are those programs critical to the target group you're reaching?
Okay, you're speaking of the agriculture program, which is a part of the PUF-YA, which is our Youth Agriculture Entrepreneurship Program. That's huge. Your last guest talked a little bit about diet and nutrition. Okay, that's a huge part. What we consume and what we put into our bodies is essential. You know, of course, right now there are lots of you know, genetically modified engineered food that is not really food. Not only that, but through our PUF-YA program, it gives young people the opportunity to tap into their creativity, and we believe that we can create a whole new economy built around that. Can you imagine, with all the new urban gardens and everything popping up, that we have young people who take on the agribusiness, and we can take these gardens and we can grow them so it's not just a garden, but they're actually doing agribusiness where they feeding people throughout the community. Other community people are coming to work in that. So that can be a particular business model where we can grow that and at the same time provide good nutrition to the community throughout.
So that would fall under entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
Inside of, so you guys have 3 key factors. There's entrepreneurship, leadership, and education.
Absolutely.
Why are those the key factors to remediating poverty?
Well, I'm going to tell you why it's so key. And we do it step by step: education, leadership, entrepreneurship. it's not enough. It's not enough just to go to school and get a degree. It's not enough. It's not enough to just go to school, get a degree, and then get a good job, okay? We have to go the step further. You know, who's creating these jobs?
Right.
Okay, so we take it all the way up to the entrepreneurship because that's a huge factor in terms of how can you guarantee yourself a job? The entrepreneurship piece is essential. So we want you to be educated and become community leaders and then position yourself whereas you can hire and create jobs within the community.
I do think that this is a really great program that you have created. And so I got a chance to visit the website and look at the courses that you all offer. And so I observed that they range from, the prices range from about $25 and up to maybe $700. Are there any outside resources or financial aid provided to help in assisting for these, to assist in paying for these courses?
Absolutely. We have a number of different ways that you can pay for the courses. If you don't have the money, of course, we serve the underserved community, so everybody doesn't. You know, we have an honor system in place. You know, we have different things. Other people who may not even attend the course, but they give contributions and everything. It's about sustainability. You know, if you're able to pay for the course, you pay for the course. If you're not, you do what you can. You know, you bring your gifts, you bring your skills, you bring your talents, you bring your commitment, you bring your dream here. You know, we're not going to turn you away. You got a dream, something that you're very passionate about, and it's going to have a positive impact on others throughout the community. Bring it on. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's bring that dream, that vision into fruition.
That's truly commendable, Mr. Lyndon. So can you tell us where PUF is located?
We're actually located right around the corner.
Right here in the
Yes,
AUC.
we're actually part of the Atlanta University Center neighborhood. We're right there at 147 Lost Shea Street.
Okay. Are there a lot of AUC volunteers involved with PUF?
Well, I wouldn't say a lot of volunteers involved, you know, and that's another outreach that we're working towards, is to have the framework in place, the infrastructure in place, so that people can more readily, you know, volunteer. Now, the students in the AU Center, a lot of them are very committed to their studies, but one of the huge factors, and I do want to make this clear if they're watching out there today, is that this is a golden opportunity for you to grab hold of your dream, of your vision, to come in and volunteer. And actually, this is actually work and experience that you can gain. You know, so if your pathway is to go out and get a good job, you can gain this experience. Bring those. We want your ideas. We want to put you in the driver's seat, you know, to do that. And if your goal is to create your own businesses or whatnot, then this is another opportunity for you to tap into the resources that we have to help you move that forward.
Okay, so if you could just tell our audience where they can go to get more information about volunteering or registering for the People United Foundation.
One of the key ways that they can do it, they can go directly online to our website, and they can do that one or two ways. They can go to www.thepuf, that's THEPUF1F.org, or they can simply go to www.peopleunitedfoundation.org. Or they can give me a call directly. You can reach me directly at 678-522-0530.
Okay, I want to thank you once again for joining us here on Potpourri. You've been a wonderful guest, and I wish you the best with your foundation.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Be sure to look into the People United Foundation and the Fit Defenders comic. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time to Potpourri.